Season 3 2020, and it's going to be a new guide series that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a racecraft guide. So there's a lot of guides out there that can show you how fast you need to go around the track, the perfect line around the track, the perfect hot lap. But when it actually comes to racing, people still stick to these lines and don't know how to position themselves to better overtake or to defend safely, competitively, that doesn't cause some sort of carnage. So I've decided to, for the BMW 12.0 series this season, show some sort of attacking, defending lines, racecraft, about how to kind of deal with certain situations. Because I think if I can get this across somehow to some competitors, I think it'll save a lot of heartache. You'll enjoy it more, you won't crash out more, and we'll have some more fun. So I've kind of come up with a bit of an acronym to get us all started off. That's going to be kind of the theme throughout the whole of this season. So it's a nice acronym. It starts race. It's easy enough. It's RACE. It's the first one's your racetrack. Really simple. You've got to know your racetrack. You've got to learn it. You've got to practice. You've got to know your braking points. You've got to know what corners are coming up that allow you to prepare and plan how to overtake and defend and what lines you need to take. This leads on to awareness. So as you get making that move, you've got to be aware of other cars around you on the track. So that means you can plan and repair those lines again. What's ahead, what's behind. This leads to the control of your vehicle, consistency, control the situation, know when, if you're making that move, whether it's overtaking or defending, when to pull out. That could be the difference. We saw it with Verstappen in F1. His first few years, he went for everything. Great to watch. But how many times do you throw it into another car or off the track and cause some damage and lose his race? Same in these races. We're not Formula 1 drivers. We're not professionals. We're just hobbyists. But this is about controlling the situation, withdrawing if you have to, and then on to the next overtaking manoeuvre, and you can plan and prepare for that. But you're still in the race, and that's the main thing. And then the last one is E, and it's simple enough. Enjoy yourself. Otherwise, while we're here, it's all a bit of fun. We want to be competitive. We want to be winning. But sometimes to do that, you need to stay on the track. So without further ado, we'll move on. It's Laguna Seca, the BMW M4 GT4, the new car. So perfect car to pick. And I hope you enjoy this series. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to put some comments and feedback in the bottom to help this series better. It's my first go at it, my first video. So just let me know. Thanks. So here we are. We're at Laguna Seca on the main straight, coming past the pits. We're going to head towards the first corner. So this first lap, it's only going to be for overtaking. So you're setting up your overtake. So as you're coming up this hill, if you've got a good run and you've managed to get to the inside, that's perfect. I'll show you what line needs to be on. If you have to stand, if they've got the inside line and you haven't got it, you might have to back out because difficult corner, double apex. It's quite easy to defend the double apex. You've got to hug that inside line. So if you're coming up the inside, know your braking points, know where you got to stop. Remember, we're going to be dirty side of the track. Might have to brake a bit further. You are going downhill. Easier to lock up because of gravity. So bear that in mind. You might just shoot into this gravel trap and you don't want to do that. But if you do manage to stop it on the first apex, where that sausage curve is, you want to keep holding that inside line. Make them go the long way around so they can't get this back. Keep holding it round. That's your overtake position there. If you don't manage to get it, and you're still sitting behind because they've defended well, you probably won't get it from the outside because they'll be forcing you around the outside, a long way to go. You've got to think about where you're going to be setting up next. So think about what's coming up. You've got this right-hander which you hardly brake for. You've got the next right-hander after that which you hardly brake for, and then that's going to be your next overtaking position. It's 3 corners from now. So if you have to back out of this one, don't panic. You've got another hard braking point coming up. But it's how you set yourself up for that next braking point is the key. So you're not going to be doing much overtaking here because they're just going to be dabbing the brakes and down into third gear and hugging those apexes, and you're going to follow in that slipstream. What you want to do is come off the accelerator just a bit before them. They're going to be pressured, so I hope they'll brake a bit later, and then you want to be on the accelerator before they are. Be careful. Very tail happy this car, and you want to be, if you can get that left hand side, but they'll probably defend if they're a good driver. They'll defend that left hand side. If you get the left hand side, it's easy. Just do what I said on the previous one. Cover that. Make sure you get into that brake point. Don't overshoot. If you come in, you're going to be hugging around that apex, that tight line, and get a good drive and get into the middle of the track, stop any sort of overtaking coming back from them. But if you are coming from the right hand side and they've covered the left, but you are side by side, which is a very good possibility if you've got a good drive. Remember your braking points. Be aware, remember your peripheral, where they are. If you can, look left with your controller, look left. But they're going to be braking late, and because if they're not a very good driver, they're going to be coming out wide here. So you're going to brake early, cut back in early, and you're going to hit that second apex here. Get a better drive, they should be on the right, which then sets you up to defend the next corner. So if you defend that next corner, you basically got it to the straight, so then that allows you to pull away a bit. But remember, if you're coming up here after that corner, you are going to sit in the middle of the track, because if you're too far over to the left, we've got to explain the next lap round when you're defending. You're not going to get, you're either going to be sent offline, you're going to hit the sausage curve and go into the gravel trap, or you're going to be too slow and they'll have you on the screw. So just be careful of that. So from this point on, if you still haven't made that overtake, or you've got close enough now that you're starting to get into position to overtake, this isn't a corner to overtake on. Because if you try and go left here, you can see that sausage curve and look at that camber, you are going to bounce and you're going to go straight over to that gravel trap. They'll probably defend the middle, which is easy for them because they can just hug this and hug it all the way up the hill. So they're going to hug it all the way up the hill. Now, the only way you're going to overtake on the screws is if they make a mistake. So be aware of that. Come off the accelerator, watch what they're going to do. A lot of people try and go wide for here, which I think is a poor technique. So that's some people's normal race time. They turn in late like that, which allows a gap for you. But you've got to be switched on to that, because if you're making a dive and they're just turning in without looking, I don't think it's worth it unless you are 100% sure that overtake's on. You don't want damage, and if you get thrown down the screw here, you spun, you can get a lot of damage. I don't think it's a point. The only reason you're going to make an overtake here is the fact that they've headed up in that gravel trap, or they've outbraked themselves because of the pressure you're putting on behind. So you're just going to follow them through here, nice and easy. Don't forget your second tree there in the middle tree is your aiming point. There's no overtaking opportunities down here. There shouldn't be anyway unless they're drifting out wide because I haven't moderated the throttle good enough. If they haven't, or they're all over the place, have come back over here. Good overtaking position is here. Cover this inside line and try and battle them, but that doesn't set you up for the next. So if you're still side by side here, it doesn't set you up for the last corner before the straight, which you're going to be one on the inside really, because it is a tight, almost basically a hairpin. So you've got to weigh that up, whether you think you're quicker than them overall, or you just make an opportunity. Because really, you want this straight to be in your favour, so you want to set yourself up. So I'd follow them through this corner. Give yourself a nice acceleration to this point, and then you want to be. This is your overtaking position here. Left hand side, cover their apex off. Doesn't matter if you go a little bit wide here. That's good. That'll block their drive, and you want to use then this curve then. So they might come back up the inside, and that's where I'm going to show you how to defend from now on. But we'll just go back round that corner. He says using his mirrors. Look at that. So, same again. So if you're coming from here, you could attack easily. So they're covering that inside line. They're going to do what I just said, because they're going to be braking later. So you need to turn in, get that inside and drive, and you'll be driving up, and then it'll be a straight run down to the first corner then. So now it's just about defending. Defending's a lot easier than overtaking, I think. I'm good at defending. It's all about awareness. Anywhere within half a second, they look to have a go. These cars are a bit easier on the brake in a straight line. So this is your inside line. That's what you're covering. You're not leaving any gap. Do not leave that door open. Do not give them the opportunity just in case you mess up. If you mess up here, they've still got to make the overtake. But if you mess up on the right hand side, you've just left the gap completely open for them. So you want to be covering this inside line all the way around. Be aware of where they are. they're coming back around you, you can drift out a little bit, still leave them 1 car's width, because what you don't want to be doing, you should be still ahead here, but what you don't want to be doing is leaving this inside open, because if you're slow off that drive there and leave that open, you're going to leave them that inside apex, and you're going to be then following through that apex, because you don't want to hit them, and you've got to be aware of that. Don't be sore if you have messed up, and leave that gap open. So what you want to be doing is, once you come off that corner, you want to be straight over to the middle of the track. Show your intention of defence. So if you're showing your intention of defence, they're most likely not going to try and take up here. Look how dirty it is, look how hard it is to get that car turned in. They're stupid enough they'll do it, just be aware. If they're going to do it, let them go and they'll go over to the track. So you've just easily kept your place and you can drive off into the sunset. So all your defensive lines, you're not going to, if they're that close to you, on these sort of corners here where you're hardly taking any speed off, you don't have to worry. It's this one you have to worry about. You will need a good drive. You don't want to be onto this gravel here, you're going to lose traction. And you still want to be keeping left, because you've got to defend this next corner. So see where they are, hold the middle of the track, see what they're going to do. And then as they've showed their position, if they've moved out far right, you can come back to the middle, because if you're too narrow, you're going to push yourself out wide. Make sure you get slow down in time. Remember your braking points. That all comes from, remember, racetrack, learning the track. And you want to be hugging that apex, so you get that late apex, so you get the drive up the hill. Stop them coming back up the inside. Hold the middle of the track still if they're still on your tail. Their intention should be to move out right, because they want the best drive up the hill. So you can now move back out right, hopefully, into the middle. Hug this apex again. And a good drive up the hill. And remember what I said about attacking. You don't want to make a mistake on this screw. They should hopefully be watching what you're doing up here and come off the accelerator a bit earlier than you. But what you want to be doing is taking a nice tight. As you come up over this, you want to come in over to the left. Get that apex. Don't go wide. Don't leave that gap open. Over the top and back down. Middle of the track. Keep now left. I'm going to hug in that apex. They shouldn't be coming through here. You should be, if you've got good enough speed, should be following you around still. Be aware where they are now. I'll be hugging the middle. They're probably going to try and go wide, get a better drive than you to the last corner. So you want to be keep holding the middle and then get as much space as possible so you get a good drive. Because you should get this apex first, and then you want to be drifting over this side, and you need to defend that inside line, because they stop your drive onto the straight, you're screwed. So from here, where do we go? Right, they're going to try and go on the outside. So again, you've got to make as much room as possible. You've defended this inside line. At this point, they should already be braking. You can now brake into the middle, give them that space, don't hit them. And then you want to be holding the track. You want to be as wide as possible at this point. So you're going to keep them on the outside line where it's dirty, less traction. If they're good enough, they might brake. So this is where you need to get the car turned in. And you need to start getting that drive up the hill. And then it's defend again. That's about it, really. It's a bit difficult, this track. Not many overtaking opportunities. Quite a fast track. There's some definite technical areas. But remember what I told you at the start. Go for that race acronym. Racetrack. If you know your racetrack, it's a lot easier to defend and attack, plan and prepare. You'll know your braking points. Remember, if you're going off the racing line, it is dirtier. So you are going to extend your braking a bit. If you're in a slipstream, going up this hill, obviously you're going quicker, so your braking distances are further, so bear that in mind as well. And the same with defending offline. Going down a hill, your braking distance go further, but going uphill, unlike the corkscrew, your braking distances are decreased because of the help from gravity. Little things to bear in mind. Don't forget your awareness. Remember what's around you. Look at your relatives, see what's coming up, what's behind. Consistency is the key on these sort of sprint races. Just keep putting your lap times in. Don't look at the car. Be aware of the car ahead of you if he's close, but remember to drive your race, not theirs. If they're braking later than you, they may be a better braker. They may have different braking points. There's different lines for different tracks. So just bear in mind, run your race until you know where you can overtake and where you're happy to overtake. And then enjoy it. Don't forget to enjoy it. There's no point in racing if you're not having fun. but if we always want to win, so we always want to be competitive. This is why I'm doing this guide, so you can be at least competitive in those 12 minutes. You're not going to win it on the first lap. Your first lap is about defending your position in these sort of races, and then the mistakes will come from other drivers, and that's when your consistency from knowing the track and being aware of what's around you will get you through into the points. If you look at a lot of my races that I've put on YouTube, I'm not the best qualifier. That's something I've got to work on. You've got to drive to the point where your consistency will just outdrive. You won't need to overtake. People will be making mistakes, and you can just drive past them. It's the better drivers when you start getting towards the top 5. There's a reason they're up there, and there's a reason you're there as well. So now you've got to start competing, and that's what this guide is for, to show you how to compete, where to plan, and how to defend. So good luck. Let me know how you get on. Put some comments below. Give me some feedback on what you think of this guide, what it needs or what it doesn't need. It's the first time I've done one of these like this. It's not a hot lap guide, as you can see. It is how to get around the track and attack better and defend better racecraft, so that I actually finish the race. And if you're finishing races, you'll enjoy it more and you'll learn more because you'll be doing more racing. So hopefully I'll see you out there. Enjoy your racing, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers.